Rev up your engines! Everybody knows I'm not a big fan of Nissan, but here's a Nissan of another color. It's a 2016 Nissan Titan with a Cummins V8 diesel engine. It is a completely different vehicle than the trash that Nissan normally builds. I know some of you are going to think, oh, Scotty's a hypocrite, or maybe Nissan gave him a whole bunch of money to say good things about him. No, he bought it brand new. He's had some pretty good experiences with it, but I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Scotty, if they're so great, how come they don't make them anymore? Well, that's pure marketing, because they stopped selling these things. They don't sell them with the diesel engines, Cummins or otherwise. They only have the gasoline engines in them. And the reason is, they never made that many or sold that many. Nissan is a small player in the large pickup business. Ford makes all their money practically on F-150s, right? Nissan, on the other hand, the last year that they made these turbo diesel, their big pickups accounted for 1.5% of pickup sales in America. So it's a tiny amount. They just weren't selling enough of them. Actually, hardly anything wrong, especially this particular one, for a couple of reasons. Now, this is a big, heavy truck, right? He's gotten as high as 20, usually about 19 miles a gallon on the highway when he's not towing. You tow, you're gonna lose. That's just the way it is. You get something this big, this heavy, that can tow so much. It's an excellent engine, made it up to it. As we all know, it's a Cummins diesel. And if you don't know, they're not that into any kind of American manufacturers. They want to use foreign stuff. I mean, when you think about it, a 7,400 pound vehicle, if you can push it up to 20 miles a gallon, that's kind of phenomenal science when you think about it. The other really big thing I like about this is the transmission. Because hiding in here, the transmission, we'll go under so we can see it better. There's the big, beautiful transmission there, is an Aisin transmission. It's a Toyota transmission. It is not a crappy Japco Nissan transmission. It's a Toyota transmission. They can run forever. Bigger Chrysler products that had them too. They make pretty good transmissions. We can't make them, so we'll buy them from somebody else. So basically, the engine comes from Cummins, the transmission comes from Toyota. What's not to like with that? And with that transmission and a big diesel V8, you can tow a lot. They rate them around 12,000 pounds, but you can actually tow a heck of a lot more if you want to. Now, the owner of this truck knows what he's doing. If you look back here, you'll see he added this Roadmaster system. Now, he admits he doesn't feel that much driving normally, but when he corners hard, you don't get the rear wheel skip. It's a pretty interesting system. Those guys came up with it a few years ago. I pulled one on a Ford F-150 once, and the guy loved it. You're going to corner better with it, and this is a four-wheel drive system, too. So, you know, with a four-wheel drive and that, you're going to have a lot of control in that. And that's what he likes about it. He likes the control that you have in this vehicle. We'll take it for a ride in a minute. And just looking inside, you know, it's a truck and it's got the usual screen and everything on it. And unfortunately, it's got electronic parking brakes and stuff. I hate that stuff, but that's the way that it goes. The seats are nicely appointed. This is the Platinum version. When we open the back door, we check out. There's a lot of leg room. So much, hey, look. Somebody's been sleeping back here. Now, of course, it's got massive dual caliper brakes on the front and in the back. Discs all around. So let's see what this monster sounds like. Climb in, and I mean climb in. It's high up in the air. Now, it's one sweet sounding diesel. You're always going to get noise on a diesel. They are not silent by any stretch of the imagination. But these things can really take it. I've seen these things with 300,000–400,000 miles on them. Now, he takes care of his stuff. He changes his oil every 5. Doesn't burn any oil at all in between changes. And now it's barely worn in with 76,332 miles on it. And of course, it's got the setup so you can see it's in just rear wheel drive now. You can see 4 high, 4 low, whatever you want. 4-wheel drive is all electronic. I'm not a fan of that, but they're all that way. You can't get away from that. Just like you can't get away from the electric parking brakes. Let's take this diesel for a spin. A regular old gear shift. Not some little button. I like a gear shift. Come on now. It's a truck. Now, the first thing I noticed is a diesel, but look. It's not shaking at all. It's smooth as can be. It's got that diesel sound. We can go over the humps here. We don't have to worry about bottoming out of this thing. It's a big truck. This thing does have a dual turbo setup, a little one and a big one. And the little one, the gate broke on it under warranty. And rather than fix it, Nissan just replaced the entire turbocharger unit. But it was under warranty then. Just be leery that these things can break. You want to make sure you got a warranty if you buy one of these, because parts are relatively expensive. Look both ways, and here we go. We'll give it the gas. This thing's got torque. It pulls. Got a nice sound to it. You're high up in here, great for taking out in the country. You won't get stuck. with that four-wheel drive. Kind of a shame they don't make these things anymore. Aren't we floored? Shifts into passing gear. Got a little more grunt. It's a nice pickup truck. Hey, I'm amazed that something this heavy can get 20 miles a gallon if you don't push it on a highway, and 19 if you drive it normal on the highway. And here we go again. Decent pickup for a diesel. It's the torque that you get these for pulling stuff. So there we have it, a 2016 Titan. I think it is a Titan of pickup trucks. Hey, it's not like that crappy GM that I looked at years ago that didn't even have a lift pump to send the fuel to the fuel injection pump. This has a lift pump and a filter in it. It was designed right. It was built right. It's just a crying shame that you can't buy them anymore with the Cummins turbo diesel. They only come with the V8 gasoline engines. Now, they're not bad V8 gasoline engines, but they're tremendous gas hogs. They just suck fuel down. And then if it's towing, it'll get 3 to 4 times what a gasoline will towing. On the other downside is, the new ones have V8 gasoline engines, but they only come with Jatco transmissions, Nissan transmissions. I think Nissan blew it. They were building something good, and now they don't build it anymore. Granted, it was only 1.5% of the U.S. market the last year they had these diesels, so they weren't selling that many of them, but they're excellent vehicles. I have nothing against this truck, other than they're not making them anymore. I guess Nissan makes so many bad decisions. It's just another bad decision on top of the other bad decisions they made over the last 22 years since they were taken over by the French company. Carlos Ghosn excluded, and that's another story. And here's some bonus questions and answers. Maker 2003 says, in southern Maine, I have a question about electric steering racks. I got an 011 Ford Fusion, and the power steering says service power steering. Now I have no power steering at all. It's manual, it works, but I have no power steering. Ford lawsuit against them, but they haven't done it yet, so it's not over. My power steering rack went 151,000 miles. I don't want to pay for it $1,850 to get it replaced when they know it has faulty wiring. What can I do? Well, yeah, you know, that's the problem. Electric power steering is a good idea, but in practice, they're often made like crap, and Ford made theirs like crap. They can often have electronic problems. The old Fords, the regular hydraulic power steering, they tend to last forever. My grandson's friend has a F100, and the power steering still works on it. And that thing is, you know, 30 years old. Yours is what? 11. And it's broken already because it's electronic. Call up the local discount auto parts stores, see what a rebuilt rack costs, and then call the local mechanics to see what they charge to replace it, right? And then go from there and see if you're willing to pay that price. And ask them what the warranty is, too, you know. If it's a 90-day warranty, it's kind of a crappy warranty. You'd want a better warranty. And then you keep the receipts, because if Ford loses a class action, what will happen is they fix them free. You already had yours fixed. They have to reimburse you the entire thing that you paid. So keep receipts on that one, because they did have a lot of problems with it. Hope that Ford doesn't wheedle out with a little technicality like GM when they've been sued, like with their Corvettes, that, well, you didn't make the wheels right and they're breaking. And then they said, oh, we made the wheels correctly for cast wheels. They're not forged, they're cast. So they shouldn't have put cast ones. They should have put forged ones on, but they weren't made wrong. So you can't sue us for them breaking, because we made the cast wheels the way you're supposed to. But it's the same company, right? They're the ones who decided to not put forged ones that cost more money on them, on a car that's inexpensive, but they won in court because of technicality. Well, they didn't build the cast wheels wrong. They just shouldn't have used them, but you can't sue them for that. That's not the way the law works. Larry Bush says, I got an 08 Dodge Nitro. I need a PCM replacement and reprogrammed. Which diagnostic tool could you recommend I should get to reprogram my PCM? You know what I advise? Pay a mechanic. The good machines that can reprogram PCM start at $1,000, and they're kind of crappy. I got one that costs $7,000 and does a good job, but that's $7,000, right? Plus, you have to buy the software to reprogram it with. And a lot of companies, they make you buy a yearly subscription. You gonna buy that? No. So find a guy like me that knows how to do it and have them reprogram it for you, because you're gonna spend way too much money unless you're gonna start your own garage and start repairing cars. It's not cost effective to buy a machine that can reprogram it, then you have to pay to get involved in the reprogramming system. Now, some like Ford, you can buy a one-day subscription, but Dodge is kind of a funky company. Chrysler, Dodge, now it's Stellantis. Find a mechanic. You don't want to get involved in that stuff. You're going to shell out way too much money for that stuff. You're going to have to learn how to use it, and it's not that simple. It's a very complex procedure. Plus, you still got to buy the software anyways, and you might have to pay for a month fee or a year fee. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.